Well, welcome back to Mannheim in Germany for Guitar Summit 2025. Here is something I did not see coming. Marshall, who you will know are probably the most famous guitar amp manufacturer in the world, proudly made in the UK, have licensed and collaborated with the guys at Synergy to make what may well be the very first kind of Marshall branded product that isn't actually from Marshall ever, which is kind of cool. So Synergy, if you're not familiar with, have been making this stuff here and here and here and here for a few years now. And the concept was these kind of modular amps, could be preamps or power, regular heads. And then you would basically load them up with your favorite preamps, and they're interchangeable. They're really, really easy to just sort of slide in and out like that. And you've had famous brands like Soldano and Fryette and Bogner and Friedman, tons of brands like that, offer the preamp versions of their famous amplifiers. So this is the first Marshall one. I'm using here, and we're running this head into a 2 notes live, and we're getting a little bit of reverb from a pedal as well. So the reverb is not integral here. So they've done it, a version of the JMP, that kind of famous 60s, 70s era plexi, known as the plexi kind of guitar head. The head itself would have the 4 inputs, and people would traditionally jump the 2 channels. So this has been designed as if the 2 channels were jumped internally. So we've effectively got volume 1, volume 2, each has a bright switch. We've got treble middle bass, and we've got a master section, which I'll talk about in a second. You can switch between a 70s voice JMP or a 60s voice JMP. And the preamp is effectively 2 channels. So if you use the foot switch, you can see on here, I'm jumping between the top row and the bottom row. It's a duplicate set of controls. And if you set everything the same, I believe the 2 channels will sound the same. So the idea is to set each channel up differently, and then you've got your sort of 2 channels. The master volume is interesting on this little preamp. I believe this technology was first used in the Imperial Tone King pedal, which is, by the way, part of the same company that makes Synergy. And by utilizing the 0-watt power amp and the phase inverter, that would have been in a JMP amplifier, you've got this master volume on here, which obviously wouldn't be on a normal JMP head. On full, it bypasses the master volume, and then as you begin to bring it down, it will give you the master volume kind of effect. But all the way up is effectively bypassing that master volume and giving you, all the kind of the headroom that you would have on a JMP head. It's all valve. If you look inside one of these, if you're not familiar with these, each preamp's got a couple of preamp tubes in it, and then the amp itself is a valve amplifier. I guess it's kind of like it's the sort of analog valve alternative to something like a quad cortex. You have an amp and a million different preamps, and you switch them in and out as you need them. So let's get some sounds. I've got it set to its 60s mode, and I've got everything super low in terms of preamp volume, and I've got the EQ pretty flat with the master volume turned up full. And it is that very snappy. If I go to the humbucker, you'll see what happens as I start to drive it. So it's very dynamic. Let's start to bring it in a little bit. winding it in a bit more. Maybe I can take the master volume down a little bit. Is that really raspy, throaty kind of overdrive that I think as high gain amplifiers evolved over the years, that became that much smoother, higher saturation kind of thing, but guitar players still love the rawness. Let's start to, I'm going to wind it up a little bit more, see what it's at. I've got engaged the brightnesses. Let's see where we're going here. There's so much sag. It's that real classic kind of vibe of the amp going like, I don't like it, but the player going, I do. Anyway, here we go. It's a cool vibe if you've ever played an old plexi amplifier. It's that early evolution of amp gain where kind of like I say, it's not like a modern 5150 or something like that, but it's a very, very responsive, spongy kind of interesting amp to play. I think personally, probably the unexpectedly good sounds are actually in the lower. Anyway, I could mess around on these all day, but we have other videos to shoot. That is the Marshall Synergy JMP module, which I believe is available to buy right now from your favorite Guildford-based guitar store. There you are. Thank you very much. See you next time.